officially into the swing of things with the new year. It is no longer the first show of the new year. We're now just doing business as usual, but we're doing it with more energy and enthusiasm. Hopefully, renewed, revived. I certainly am. I've been sleeping incredibly well, unprecedented levels of good sleep by me. Thanks largely, I think, to this new hug sleep cocoon thing that I got for my birthday. Adding Doug in here now. Let's see what sort of loud noise he will do that will make the recording clip, and I'll have to edit it down when he comes in. You never know what he's got planned.
Hey, Matt. Good morning. Oh, I meant to come dancing in. I forgot. Dang it.
I'm not sure. Are you able to hear when I'm talking as we're waiting to bring you in?
There's like a maybe 10-second different where
Okay.
The last thing I heard you say was that you were enjoying your Snuggie, and then
okay, good. Right. For the record, it's not a Snuggie. We'll clarify that in a minute. But I've been meaning to talk to you offline, and then I just figured, well, I might as well do it on the show. Why not? Nothing to hold back here.
Yeah.
Every time I edit, I have to quiet your first 2 seconds because you scream. Whatever bit you're doing is, no matter what your action is, you yell with it. And it clips the audio. It goes into the red, and I need to fix it. So I think any podcast listeners will surely appreciate me saying this, because even once I lower it, the audio quality is still bad because it's clipped. So you just got to be quieter when you do your thing.
All right, man. I come in hot. I come in excited.
I know, and I appreciate that. I do think energy is one of the things we need more of here. So I do appreciate it. I thought when you came in today and you forgot to do your move, I thought that was you. Either you were done based on our yesterday conversation, saying that it's just crazy.
Yeah, you're making fun of me. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right. Or that this was your bit today. Was you were doing that was your ironic thing, is you were doing nothing, but you just forgot.
No, I just totally forgot. I meant to. Today's plan was just to come in dancing, and I failed. I completely failed. But
right, good. I like it. At least it was quiet.
Oh man! All right, so yeah. Well, I think I yelled once I realized that I had forgotten. So
awesome. Anyway,
well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. It's January 3rd. You'll notice I'm wearing a collared shirt. I'm high energy today. I'm feeling good. I got another good sleep. I'm just, things are looking up for 2023 for me. Doug got a nice hair shout out from someone. A plant-based space. Very nice.
A nice. Oh yeah, nice hair. Thank you.
Yeah. And Mr. Jeffrey says, "Good morning, Happy New Year. Sad to miss yesterday. I didn't realize Mr. Jeffrey was missing. That's a big moment.
Realize Mr. Jeffrey was missing?
Somehow I didn't. I was, it was the first show of the new year. I was distracted. But anyway, as I said before, I got this hug sleep thing. Erin and her mom and her sister and her husband, her sister's husband, chipped in, got me this hug sleep pod thing. It's basically a body condom or a very tight sleeping bag, but it's so stretchy, so you have some comfort within it. It just, once you're still, it compresses your arms to your body and stuff. But it took me a while to get used to, but I'm starting to just crank out good sleeps. So I'm feeling great. I also did not have alcohol yesterday.
Hold on, are they measurably good sleeps, or are they like are you wearing a ring? No. Or anything?
I can measure it by whether or not I'm awake staring at the ceiling for 3 hours from between 2 and 5 a.m.
Okay.
And I'm not. So
well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Yep. So
and how much of your body is popped out of it by the morning?
None. What I do though, I've been waking up around 2 a.m. I need a little arm stretch, go to the bathroom or something, and I feel the urge to get out of it. But then I just, like at the gym, you might feel the urge to stop. I don't. I put them back in, fall back asleep, and then in the morning I'm good. You can't just pop out of it. It's too constrictive. You couldn't. You'd have to put a real effort
around your neck.
It can go as high as you want. It goes to your shoulders, but it's not compressed in around your neck. I mean, it's enough to compress your shoulders. So once it gets to your neck, it's loose.
Okay. A plant-based space asked for the name again.
I think it's called Hug Sleep.
Hug Sleep.
I saw I think it's the same one that Mark Cuban or somebody on Shark Tank said they liked. I probably saw an Instagram ad and told my wife that it would be a good idea. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it's working well. They say it takes a while to get used to, and I feel like I'm getting used to it. You never know though. I've had periods before where I sleep well. So that's what actually brings me to my next topic here is the dry January stuff, which I'm not doing, but I am making a concerted effort to drink less. Yesterday, I did have no alcohol. It's of course possible that is the reason for the good sleep. And I actually, one of the reasons I bring that up is because one of our articles today is from Insider. We don't have to get in yet to the articles if we don't want, but it's about some tips for dry January. And her advice is don't let one mistake fall off the wagon. Treat it as a data point, right? You can say I learned something about this. For me, like one of the good things I mean, certainly this is just rationalization, but one of the benefits of drinking every now and then is I will get to see if that impacts the sleep. Because if I'm having really good sleep, I won't know for sure it's that. But if it turns out that throws it off, then I will have a pretty solid, more evidence and more reason to go further.
Or will your mind just be like looking for that excuse? And so when you wake up, you're like, oh man, I'm not going to go back to sleep because I drank again.
It is possible. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
So if I were you, I would just keep drinking and just not worry about that. No, just kidding. Yeah. So you had a note here, which I wanted to talk about around NA beers and calories in the show notes.
Yes, I did. So my mom got me a bunch of non-alcoholic beers for my birthday, because I had mentioned that I would like to use them during January. To me, it's just a great, innovation that there is now. You can now satisfy that beer craving very much without having it, and it used to not be that way. It was not the same. Now it is so close to the same thing that really it scratches the itch. And in that way, it almost seems to make this non-drinking thing easy. I'm sure there will be challenges and things, but anyway, the thing is that because they're a food product, by being non-alcoholic or mostly non-alcoholic, they print the nutrition info on them, which they don't usually do with most beers. You can get it on some of them, but it's not on all of them. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I looked at this one. I had a porter yesterday. I forget the brand of it, but my mom got it for me. There she is right now. She says microbrews non-alcoholic. Yes, exactly. That's what we're talking about, Mom. See, so anyway, I looked at it and it said 110 calories, and I thought that's kind of a lot because the non-alcoholic Guinnesses, which are larger, they're only like 60 calories. So I looked closer. This thing had 23 grams of sugar in it.
Whoa!
And that's where those calories are coming from. And it made me think, is that what all non-alcoholic beers are? So I looked at some other ones. A blonde ale that she got me only had 15 calories and, maybe 2 grams of sugar.
15 calories?
15 calories, yeah, in the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
So that was interesting. So there's this wide range of calories that they can have. Huh. And I just wondered, is that the case with regular beer? Is it that there are a lot of these, ones that are maybe maltier sort of tasting, like porters and stouts, do they perhaps have more sugar than others? And we just don't know because it's not really a common thing. You don't report that, like the ABV or the IBUs of the beer. We don't talk about how much sugar is in each beer. Sometimes you look at calories. But anyway, it seemed like a lot. And it just made me think, if I'm going to make this a daily habit, these NA beers, I should pick them wisely based on the calorie content, sugar content, because it's like drinking half a soda, and I don't want to do that every night.
Yeah. It's funny you brought this. You added this, and you're bringing this up because I was just having this conversation over the holiday break with a cousin, because I was kind of saying praises to the non-alcoholic beers and saying how good they were, and he was like, I don't get it. If I'm gonna not drink, I don't want the calories. Like I would never drink a soda or never drink a juice or something like that with calories in it. If I'm just not going to drink, I'm just going to have tea or water, and that'll be it. Sparkling water, maybe. And so I started thinking about it. Like, I mean, he's kind of right. Like, there's a reason I'm drinking these, and it's to fill a craving, I guess, or to satisfy some sort of itch that I have to have something that tastes a little bit different than water, and maybe reminds me a bit of alcohol. But it is like you said, if you're going to do this every day. I mean, I guess it's not that much different than drinking your calories with alcohol in it. But, if you're going to cut out the alcohol, you might as well try to cut out the calories too.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice benefit that I do think of now and then. It's like one of the extra things that comes with not drinking alcohol is that I would be drinking maybe 100 to 200 less calories per day, maybe more, maybe 100 to 300 less calories per day. And that's actually a decent amount of calories when you consider that maybe in a workout, you only burn that many. So that's solid. So yeah, that is definitely something to keep an eye on. The thing, what he said, it was a he, I think, your cousin. That makes sense, but it totally makes logical, rational sense. I think what he's not accounting for, at least for my situation, is the addiction factor. And like this, I don't mean to at all imply that I had some serious addiction, and I'm, this is a hard thing because there are people who have much more difficulty than I would, I think, stopping this. But I have this craving for that specific thing. It's not just I want to drink at the end of the day, to drink something to put liquid into my body. It's like I want that exact experience, or as close as possible to that, because I just need it. It's just like I'm just so used to having that beer at the end of the day, or the glass of wine at the end of the day, that I couldn't put tea. I need some sort of psychological thing that says this is basically the same thing, even if I know it doesn't have alcohol. So that's my reason. But I think it's right, and I think the way to get best of both worlds, obviously, is pick your NA beer carefully and choose one that doesn't have many calories. Guinness is such a good choice with 60 calories for that large can, and it's still the closest one I found to the original.
My only argument against that is like you're craving alcohol, right? Or you're craving something different, because if wine satisfies it the same as beer, or I know you don't really drink liquor, but liquor, so it's not like a flavor that you're craving.
It needs to feel special, right? It needs to feel like one of these things I am used to as being the original. You're right. That's a great point, because they are not at all the same, and they don't. I don't know. And it's not the alcohol, because I can get it. I'm telling you, like I drink, especially the NA Guinness, I drink that, and it is just as satisfying.
Yeah.
Huh. So I think it's just a repetition of something that I have done hundreds, thousands of times at the end of the day.
Over many years, yeah.
Yeah, whether it's wine or beer, one or the other, each of them would work well. So perhaps a mocktail, and in fact, I think a mocktail would not do it for me. I think it wouldn't feel like the same thing. It would feel like almost like tea.
Because you don't drink mocktails or cocktails.
Right, exactly. That's never been something that I would do. So I have no association. I don't know, just a guess.
Interesting. Well, right. I look forward to hearing more of this report over the next month. I chose tea last night as my my beverage of choice.
Very nice.
And so I'm right here with you with this damp January.
Yeah, damp January. That's what we're calling it. All right. So on that note, I'm not going to report on ice skating, which I did yesterday, and I was thinking I might get into that, but no need. Just my activity for the day, along with some lifting. And that's my.
Oh yeah, your daily activity. I was going to ask you about that. What was that?
Yeah, I did 2 sets of deadlifts and some pull-ups and some push-ups, and then I went ice skating, and that was good.
Nice.
And I did not eat vegan meat. That makes something like 4 or 5 days in a row. So
I'm on my fourth day of running.
Oh, okay.
So I got a little mini streak going on.
Good for you. Working on your ultramarathon goal for the year, right?
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Good. Are you going to keep a streak going? Is that the idea?
No, it's just kind of worked out.
Just doing it.
Yep.
Cool. Good. All right. Well, I put in the title of this show Veganuary SOS. And I did that because there seemed to be a lot of people who showed up to yesterday's show, and I thought maybe it was because of Veganuary, so we did that again. So we're not going to have any big Veganuary stories here, but if you have Veganuary questions or you need some SOS help, here we are. Just put your question. I would love to hear that people are doing Veganuary, if anyone is, which I don't know if they are because people in our audience are already vegan. Distraction is happening with the comments.
I know that's the problem. I totally missed that you talked about pull-ups, which I did do that too yesterday as well.
Yeah, good.
I haven't done it today, but
I didn't. It wasn't a taunt, Mr. Jeffrey. Okay, for those who are just listening, not watching, Mr. Jeffrey said I'm casually mentioning that I'm doing pull-ups to taunt Doug. That is not true. I have a pull-up bar. I installed it. It's a central part of my fitness area. So if I'm going to exercise, I'm going to do some pull-ups.
Is it a wall? So help me out here. Is it just like a pull-up bar that's like just a bar that sits out, or is it part of a door frame pull-up bar?
It's a bar that sits out. I said put it. You saw a picture of it. I think I put it somewhere. You put it in a newsletter at some point. Yeah, I installed it in the wall. I got it from Rogue, and I literally did the most like craftsmanship I do of anything. As I got out a drill and I drilled this thing into the wall. I used a stud finder, found the stud, measured stuff. It was serious work, and I put it up, and it has not fallen down yet. So
that's good.
That a big success.
I'm proud of you, Matt. That's good.
Yeah, but you wouldn't like it because there aren't kids running around screaming and like on sliding boards and things for you to creepily do pull-ups next to.
I don't have to squat down to hold on to it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Keep going. Sorry.
All right. So anyway, if you have Veganuary questions, we are happy to answer them. as two longtime vegan guys who I don't think we ever did Veganuary, but you didn't do Veganuary ever, did you?
Mm.
No, okay. But I did a vegan challenge for a month once when I was vegetarian, so I've got some experience in that department. But anyway, just fulfilling the promise of our show title here. So if you have questions, ask them. All right. So I don't want to hang too long on the dry January topic, but I picked out an article from Insider.com that's called "I tried dry January for the first time last year. I didn't drink for 30 days straight for the first time in years, thanks to these 6 strategies." Long headline. They repeat the phrase "the first time" twice. Just weird headline. But whatever. They're going to try their hand at the clickbait thing, I guess, and that's what you get.
Two sets of numbers.
Yeah, just right. It should be. I tried dry January for the first time last year. Here's what happened. That's who would click on that, or that's what would make you click, not the whole rest of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. So we'll just get to her 6 strategy here because we've talked plenty about not drinking already. Identify your why. This is always the advice with goals and things, and I guess it matters. In this case, I actually have found it kind of helpful because she makes the point, like, don't treat it as like this is your punishment for your holiday activity and now you have to do this. That doesn't last for me. What has really been a motivator this year, like I said, is thinking of the benefits that would come from just primarily sleeping better. Honestly, if this was associated for me with waking up refreshed, that would be all I need. I mean, that's wonderful. So just feeling good, energy, stuff like that. I think at the beginning of a year is for me it's valuable fuel.
Yeah.
Find a community. She mentions a few things. There's something called the Alcohol Experiment, which I clicked on the link or Googled or something. I think you have to pay for it, but it's like a 30-day live alcohol experiment. Annie Grace's 30-day live alcohol experiment. So you can look that up if you want. She mentioned some others. We knew the 1 year no beer guys. They were on our podcast a while ago.
Yep.
Sober Sis's 21-day reset and Club Soda and apps like Try Dry to support your experience. So there's all that. Be vocal about your commitment. It means basically go on social media and kind of get people on board, tell them what you're doing. Mixed science about whether that works or not. Try alternatives. This, to me, as I said, is the big one. That if you can replace what you were drinking with something that is very similar but doesn't have alcohol, that makes it pretty easy. At least it has for me when I have not drank. Be patient as your body adjusts. She says you may even have trouble sleeping as your body adjusts to unwinding without the depressant. I hadn't considered that, but I do wonder perhaps if I wake up a little bit more in the early going of the night when I don't drink, in return for much better sleep later on. I don't know. And then don't let a slip up derail your entire month, which I talked about earlier. So I'm not going to get back into that. But anyway, that's her tips. Anything to add there, Doug, or any further discussions? Or we move on to the food?
I'm pretty sure this is an exact replica of how to go vegan for 30 days. Blog post.
Right.
Probably one that we've written or I've written.
Yeah, it sure seems like it.
Yeah. So like identify your why, that's common. The community thing. So the community thing is cool. I mean, for any sort of lifestyle change, but the one thing that I wanted to kind of call out here is that I think that that's less important now than it was 10 years ago with alcohol because of all the alternatives. Like, I can remember going to bars or whatever and people just having to drink water or like a Coke or something like that at a bar.
Oro Duels, which was
Oro Duels, just kind of feeling totally out of place.
Yeah.
But, now now you can get a beer that looks like a beer in a glass and you can feel like you're drinking a beer and I feel like it's just not as big of a deal anymore to go to a bar and still participate in the activity that everyone is participating in.
Good point. Like beer pong.
Yeah, like beer pong. So the vocal about your commitment thing. The only thing I'll say here is that if you're a woman and you don't drink, everyone assumes that you're pregnant. If you're a woman of childbearing age, that has at least that's the case. That's been the case for Katie. So maybe being vocal is good. You're kind of putting it out there that you're not drinking. And then, try alternatives. Literally, this could be a vegan post. Commitment, try alternatives, find your community, be patient about the adjustments. Same with vegan.
Same thing. Yep.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, I just wanted to call that. I thought.
This is habit change advice. applied in this case to alcohol, but you're right. It works exactly the same for going vegan. And there's a lot of similarity here between Veganuary and dry or damp January. It's very, you're doing something, there was this normalized activity and now you're doing something that is sort of extremely in the opposite direction. You're used to it. You're going to get all the social pressure and it's the same thing. So not a coincidence. We got a couple comments here. Colleen Baldwin, who is the one who provided me in part with the Hug Sleep pod. She says the Guinness is delicious because she tried it while she was here.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. Whole Health Experience. Aisha got Athletic Brewing Upside Dawn. No one was feeling it. I have high hopes for IPAs. I don't know what Upside Dawn is. I don't think I had that one, but maybe I did. My first Athletic Brewing I did not like. It was an IPA, but I have loved the darker ones, the stouts and the Lodge Life, especially.
Lodge Life is really good. I've been getting into the hazy one, the hazy IPA. It just feels a little bit more textured, like thicker than the like traditional IPA. Okay. So I've been into that one.
I should mention that Helen, our Athletic Brewing rep, which is the closest thing we have to a sponsor on this show. We don't have a sponsor, but no, compliments the closest thing. But Helen's been sending us non-alcoholic beer. She's an ambassador. She's been sending us Athletic Brewing things. She sent me a new pack of it for Dry January, not the Dry January pack online because that contains milk in one of them.
Nice.
But she sent it. She couldn't ship to South Carolina, so I had to go to North Carolina. My dad and didn't come in time for him to get it to me, so it's sitting there waiting for me. So I'm going to try some new ones, and I will report soon.
Sweet.
Yes. All right. Let's see. Aisha did a taste test party with friends of non-alcoholic drinks. Makes it fun. That's a good idea. Might gain a few friends. Commit along the way. Someone says Tucker's Tropical Triple IPA from Athletic was not bad. That's from Schlato. And by not bad, they mean they would drink it again. Did look for it in the store this weekend. So, yeah, it's not the same, right? It's not exactly the same. It's going to be a little different, but you will find, if you keep looking, you will find one that's really good, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So into, and Dale Stevens, who I missed a few comments from, she can't believe I have a no fake meat challenge this year, which is, it's not for the year, it's just for the month. And if I travel, I'm giving myself that pass to get some fast food or whatever. And then something else that has a typo in it, but I can't read that. Okay, so anyway, moving on. This is usnews.com, who, we've said, take their stuff with a grain of salt because it's a lot of stuff, including money, I think, goes into their reviews. At least with some things. I don't know if that's true with diets, but maybe. The notable thing, though, is they put out the 2023 best diets rankings. They claim there's new criteria and a new formula that makes it better. But listen to what they picked. Number 1, Mediterranean diet. This is best overall. For the 6th year in a row, which is a lot, considering how many diets come and go, to have one be the number 1 best diet overall for 6 years in a row means either they're getting a lot of money from the Mediterranean Diet Council or it's a really good diet that makes a lot of sense for people. And then tied for second is the DASH diet, which is, if you look up DASH diet, it basically says it's the Mediterranean diet, but it's like targeted for, I think, low blood pressure. So maybe it's a little bit less salt or something. I don't know, but it's Mediterranean still. And then the flexitarian diet, which we've talked about a good bit here in the past month. And that also, as I said, I think that the Mediterranean diet to me is a special case of the flexitarian diet, because flexitarian is basically saying, don't eat that much meat, but here and there when you want it, have it. And they have a little more structure with that, kind of an onboarding, way to ramp up. But you could get to that final part of it and say, I'm gonna do this maintenance phase in Mediterranean diet style. So all these are kind of the same thing. You could put the Blue Zones diet in the same group. They'll differ, of course, in the specifics as to like what they tell you, what's the limit and what's the ramp up and all that. But I don't know. I think this is really great. I love to see these kinds of diets being recommended in mainstream sources. I don't think we're really, I don't know. Perhaps we could see an Engine 2 or some kind of vegan diet go here, or Eat to Live. But I think that stuff's just too restrictive for most people to last still at this place where we all are now as a society. But I think these are such a great middle ground, and maybe even the ultimate, as far as you get. But if people would adopt these, I think we'd all be a lot better off. So I'm really happy to see that. And Doug, I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I did not include this in my 2023 trends prediction. I think the
Okay.
flexitarian diet is showing momentum and a path, and that by the end of the year, we're going to say everybody's doing flexitarian. And you're going to hear that, and you're going to roll your eyes and be like, oh my gosh, another person doing the flexitarian thing, which I think will be wonderful that it happens. But right now, people don't really know what that means. I think
Yeah.
by the end of the year, people are going to know what that means.
Okay. All right. You heard it here first. I think that makes sense.
Good.
Notably, plant-based diet's not on there.
No,
and I'm wondering if they're even including it. So if you go to the USA Today's full list of rankings, there's a category that's best plant-based diets.
U.S. News. You mean U.S. News or USA Today?
U.S. News, sorry.
Okay. So on the same thing. Yes, best plant-based diets. Okay.
Plant-based diets. There's a category that's best plant-based diets, which makes me think that like a straight up plant-based diet isn't even like an option that they're looking at.
Right. I wonder if it has to have a book with it. Like,
yeah.
Again, right. It has to have money behind it. Some publishers got to be paying some money for this.
Yeah. Because under the best plant-based diets, you have the Mediterranean diet is number 1, flexitarian diet number 2, Mind diet number 3, Mayo Clinic 4, tied with volumetrics diet. Never heard of that one.
That's like the Chef AJ thing. It's calorie density.
Okay. 6 is Dr. Wheel's anti-inflammatory diet.
Andrew Weil.
Wiles. Ornish diet is number 7.
Yep, that's mostly plant-based.
Nutritarian diet number 8.
That's Joel Furman's plant-based, 100%.
Okay. And paleo diet number 9.
That's in the plant-based?
That's what it says, yeah. And then raw food diet is number 10. So I'm thinking that like vegan diet, right, or 100% plant-based diet that doesn't have some sort of like weird thing around it. Not weird, but like the nutritarian diet or whatever. Right. If it doesn't have some sort of categories other than just don't eat animal foods, that they're not even counting that.
I mean, you might be right. I think they do require some structure, perhaps. Although raw food diet, I guess that structure. Well, I don't know. It's not really a diet. It's just a sort of a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But the problem with vegan though is you can eat Oreos and French fries and Coke and all that is still on it. So that might prevent it from being.
But you can do that in the flexitarian diet too. I guess you can't be 100% Oreo diet.
No, because but see, if you're talking about the general flexitarian diet, yes. But if you're talking about the one that's prescribed in the book, which I think is probably what, like I said, I think these things all have books associated with them. They're not going to allow that stuff.
Okay.
There's just no book called The Vegan Diet. We need to write that book. Huge missed opportunity. The Vegan Diet.
If there's no book called The Vegan Diet, then yeah, I mean, someone has dropped the ball. I had to look up the TLC diet.
Is that the band? Left Eye Lopez, her diet?
Might be. Because it pops up here a bunch. Not under plant-based diet, but I think that's the one I looked up. Yeah, the TLC diet.
It's the easiest diet to follow.
Easiest diet to follow. It's best family-friendly diet.
You can probably give yourself TLC and just sort of whenever you make a mistake, you say that's all right.
Best weight loss diet.
Oh, it's therapeutic lifestyle changes. That's what it is.
Yeah. So I looked it up, and it's essentially just, it's a flexitarian diet. Is what it is.
Yeah.
They're all kind of the same.
Yeah, they are. Flexitarian diet, by the way, also is number 1 and easiest to follow, which kind of was your criticism of it. Before we found out that it had more structure, we thought it just meant eat what you want. But yeah, that is a nice benefit. Is if it truly is flexitarian, and now and then you get to have some meat, but otherwise you're not. That's pretty easy to follow. Mr. Jeffrey says TLC diet is just avoiding waterfalls. Yeah, you just go out and don't go chasing waterfalls. And Aisha likes my Left Eye Lopez reference. I think there's a more famous member of TLC, wasn't there? Than didn't someone go on? Or no, that was Destiny's Child. Had Beyonce. I don't know who was in TLC other than Left Eye. And I remember Left Eye, I think, burned down Andre Rison's house, her former spouse or something. That's why she got on my radar in the 90s.
Oh man, if you Google TLC members, there's 4 people that come up.
Oh, I always thought it was 3.
It is 3 in all the pictures. Maybe originally there were 4. Anyway.
Well, Left Eye died in 2002. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And maybe I probably knew it, but forgot it.
R.I.P.
TLC Left Eye. Yeah. Plane crash. Okay. Wow.
All right, we've gone off. We've officially gone off the rails.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Hey Matt, what'd you have for dinner last night?
What I had for dinner last night was I went ice skating, so it was a weird leftover dinner. I had leftover pesto pasta from the night before. But not Banza. I had Barilla Plus or whatever the name is for Barilla Plus, which is like they incorporate some beans, but they still use some semolina flour, so it's good.
Okay.
How about you? What'd you have? Something good? Burrito?
No, just pasta. Like just a pretty simple red sauce pasta.
Good.
But you know what? One thing I wanted to call out that I don't know if this was intentional or not, but the Tom Brady's diet, the what's it called?
TB12.
TB12 is not on here anyway.
You're right, not on there. They must not have been willing to fork up the cash for the lobbying. Yeah, you're right. I like that. I'm in favor of the TB12 protocol being taught in schools in Florida.
Indoctrinating folks with the yeah.
Okay, so we got one more article today. Not a whole lot of this, some interesting stats. It's from Food Ingredients First. The headline is Veganuary takes hold. Companies and consumers expected to embrace plant-based eating in 2023. Once again, I will remind you, we're doing, this is a Veganuary SOS session here. So if you have questions about Veganuary, put them in. And we'll be happy to answer. This is the one time you can interrupt anytime with questions, and we'll just stop what we're saying to read the audience comments.
If you want to ask them live, request to come live.
Yeah, you can come. You can join us live if you want.
We'll cut you off as soon as you're done asking the question, but join us.
Yeah, but I need more of that. As I was brushing my teeth today, I thought this year I want this show to be much more about audience participation. I don't want just to make another podcast. There's plenty of people doing podcasts. We don't need another plant-based podcast. I want people to contribute to this, and we need I wish we had a format. I mean, a media, a tool that would let us easily incorporate the audience. The best we would have is this adding people in via Instagram, but unfortunately you have to be on video. Hopefully they will fix that soon and you can join audio only. That would be way better. In the meantime, you could just cover your camera up with the thumb or something.
That's true. That's a good point.
But Twitter Spaces does a nice job of that offering. I wish we had that, wish our audience was there, but whatever, it's fine. For the time being, you can request to join. We'll bring you up on stage. And if you earn our trust, you can repeatedly come up on stage. It's not really a stage, but whatever you would call this. Okay, so this one is it's just about companies, consumers expecting to embrace. They give some good stats. Apparently, plant-based is predicted to grow 7%. This is the industry, the plant-based sector, which we've said a lot of that means junk foods. It's not really an indicator necessarily of people eating more healthy foods. It's just how much the packaged food industry grows in that sector. 7% growth projected. 2018 there was 14% realized gains. So it's definitely slowing down, this plant-based movement. I mean, if it is to match the predictions, but it's still growing. So that's still a good thing. Very interesting though, this trend. Like we talked about this. I think one of my other predictions for 2023 was that we're going to see a backlash against the fake meat, and even some vegans. People are just going to say, I just don't want the processed stuff. I want real, actual food, and kind of move back in that way. And then the cultivated meat, I think, might swoop in and sort of replace it, and it's going to seem more real than this other stuff. But anyway, that's happening. I fully expect that it will slow down, and I think this is maybe a little bit of a good kind of, I don't know what you would call it, capitulation sort of the industry, and then we move off soon in a better direction. But anyway, Impact of Veganuary had some interesting stats. According to Veganuary organizers, and we said this sometime in the year this came out, this news, 83% of participants who were not vegan when they signed up for the challenge permanently stayed vegan or halved their intake of animal-sourced products. That is a huge stat, and I don't really believe it. And then it's sort of later on they clarify, and it completely undermines what they just said. They say after signing up for the Veganuary pledge, 23% of non-vegan participants became vegan. 43% reduced their animal product consumption by at least half, but not completely. So now we're at 66%. And a further 20% reduced by between a quarter and a half, explain the organizers. So that to me sounds like 66% stayed vegan or have their intake.
Yes.
not
Yeah.
83 or not 80. So there's more who reduced their meat, but it was less than by half. So a little bit fuzzy these stats here, and I would expect nothing less when we're counting on the organizers to tell us the stats. But whatever, it's good. I think this is really a great thing. If anything like that, if 10% of people honestly stay vegan or mostly vegan at the end of this, then
It'd
it's
be
a great
huge.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And it's such a nice way to try it out. Go for a month, go for half a month before you give up, whatever. It makes you be vegan for a little while and you see what it's like and you hopefully realize it's not impossible, even if you do have a slip up. And then maybe you go get the flexitarian diet or something. Who knows? But I think it's a great thing. I hope people keep doing it.
That's essentially what the 43% of people who reduce their animal consumption by half are probably doing, right? I mean, they're kind of falling into something that's more like it, maybe without that structure, but which is fantastic. I mean, of course, I would love it if they all went and stayed vegan, but that's a heck of a lot better than the alternative.
Yes, agreed, Doug. Could not have said it better myself.
Heck of a lot better.
Heck of a lot better. Yes. Trending phrase, trending audio. All right. So that's that story. Like, there's not that much more to get into there. But yeah, I do hope I hope one person comes on here and says I'm doing Veganuary, because I haven't yet seen that. And I have this. I mean, to me, it's clear in the New Year's we've had 2 shows, and suddenly our numbers are up again. And this, we've known this forever with No Meat Athlete traffic. It spikes soon after Christmas, and then it gradually dwindles for the rest of the year, and then only to spike again in January. So I would not be at all surprised if that happens with the show. But I was thinking maybe it was because of Veganuary people, but I still haven't seen any evidence that it is. But hopefully people are just thinking about eating better, and whether there's structure or whatever you're doing, we're here for you.
Yes, we are. You even didn't mention the Heinz news, I don't think, did you?
What is the Heinz news?
Heinz is unveiling, this is from the same article, unveiling plant-based canned beans and sausage. And a cream of tomato soup.
Okay. I think, Doug, I said I'm so committed to this New Year's challenge of mine to not eat fake meats that I don't even see that anymore. I see the sausage thing, it just goes away. It just blank spot in my mind.
I mean, that's pretty big, right? Like Heinz doing canned beans and sausage.
Actually, I did see that. I did see that this morning, and it wasn't because of the thing. It was a zero interest level. I do not want a can of beans and sausage that's vegan or not vegan. I just don't want a can of beans and sausage.
Oh man, you know what is kind of funny is like we hosted most of our holiday except for we went to like all of our extended family gets together for a weekend, and so when we're hosting, of course, everything's vegan. I was just been kind of used to, we hosted all of Thanksgiving too. I'm used to like the massive spreads, no matter what they look like, being 100% vegan this holiday. I went to this thing, and it was like people brought potluck appetizers, and it felt really weird to be looking at a table and having to say like, oh wow, none of this is vegan, and all the dips or the like, all the dips or the someone made like pigs in a blanket, like they just looked so good, and because I'm just so used to like having that stuff as vegan options, it was the first time I was like man, I really want that. Normally if you went to, I don't know, a restaurant or you went to a potluck of whatever, you just assume that most of you can eat,
right? Don't care, right? You can.
Thought that was funny.
That is funny. That has something to say about it. Oh, the vegan, the pigs in a blanket. That's, I think, like a UK Christmas thing, because I saw all around Christmas time there was a bunch of news stories about I think this isn't meat, that company. They were making plant-based, whatever it's called, pigs in a blanket. And apparently, I think maybe in the UK, if we have any international types here, especially specifically UK types, the country I'm talking about, or the countries I'm talking about, if they could tell us, I think in the UK, pigs in a blanket means hot dog wrapped in bacon, or mini hot dog wrapped in bacon. Whereas for me, it was always wrapped in like a puff pastry kind of deal.
Yeah, right,
like a croissant almost. Yeah, all these things are like hot dogs wrapped in bacon is the new what they're making when they make these vegan versions of them. They're wrapping it in vegan bacon.
Interesting.
It seems like not nearly as it's almost like a turducken type deal. Where it's like, what's the point of combining all those meats? Just have one of them and it's the same thing. But I don't know. Just can't be in favor of that form, vegan or not.
Except it's a piggin, right? I mean,
Yeah, right. It's not even a blanket. It's a pig wrapped in its own skin.
Yeah, that's gross. Ugh.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. So here's what I hope. I'm a fan of the fake meat growth. I hope that we move away from like a whole bunch of pigs in blankets and sausage wrapped in pancake stuff like that. Like I just want that. I just want normal stuff.
Right. You're on board with me, Doug. With this idea of being sick of the processed stuff, right? I mean, I know that's not exactly what you're saying, because that's like just crazy junk food, but
yeah.
I think I'm guessing that a lot of other vegans or vegetarians are just kind of wishing it would go back to. There's been this mania about introducing fake meats everywhere, and it's a good thing, I think, in a lot of ways. But I don't know. Having maybe done the show, made me just like want regular food again.
Right. I mean, who's really going to buy those? I mean, I know that Bianca got them, and that's great. And like I was super tempted to buy them, and honestly, I probably would if I saw them again. The sausage wrapped in a pancake, but like I would never ever use that as a staple, right? I would never buy that on any sort of regular basis. Like, and the market has to be tiny for people who are willing to do that,
right? Because there are people who eat that stuff all the time, but they don't. But it's not vegan,
and it's probably a third of the price.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So you see grocery store, checkout carts or checkout aisles, and people they put that stuff one after another up on there, and that's what they eat. But if they were caring about vegan, they wouldn't be eating that stuff. I think, right? If you had enough awareness of what you're eating, I think you'd probably just first go to eating healthy animal food before you go want vegan pigs in blankets.
Yeah.
I think it's totally right.
Yeah. Anyway,
and the cost, of course, too. Anne-Marie, by the way, I think is on. Doug, you have a few people have on your little mushrooms in 2023 thing. Anne-Marie keeps pushing this idea that she went to a party.
Man. We're a movement.
Okay. Well, Anne-Marie says she went to a party and things were marked if they were vegan. There were 2 vegans and 3 flexitarians there. And I think this is the same incident she was talking about earlier in the comments where she said she ran into 2 flexitarians. So she, I think, is with me in this crusade to spread the flexitarian diet this year.
Nice. And
if she's not, now she is.
So are we gonna is our community gonna be divided between the mushroom?
Great schism in the plant-based morning show.
Team mushroom.
You're starting mushroom mornings, aren't you, or something like that?
Oh yeah, mushroom mornings. We got the logo. All. Yep.
Good.
It's just a like, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. Those mushrooms that are like on like head shops and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. They look kind of like the cartoon Mario mushrooms type deals.
Yeah. Just it's not one of those, actually. No, it's not one of those. No, I put it into Fiverr and got a mushroom back, and it looked like that. And I was like, no, that's not who we are. It's not what this is about.
That's gonna be a hard fight for you, Doug, to not make it about that, because I think that's what everyone thinks of. 2023 year of the mushroom. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, speaking of mushrooms, I saw that Mellow Mushroom was embracing Veganuary. They had something like 5 vegan options they were highlighting. And when I go to Mellow Mushroom, I usually don't see 5 vegan options. So I don't know if they've added new things, but apparently they're all behind Veganuary. So I appreciate that.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. All right, then that's it. So thank you to nobody for requesting to come up and join us live today. I hope better participation in that regard tomorrow, but there were a lot of comments today, and so I am ever grateful for that. Thank you, everybody, and thanks for showing up. I mean, a lot of people showing up. Like I said, that's really good. Gives us more energy, and I'm excited to keep doing this year. Should be fun.
And hey, for everybody who's listening on the podcast, if you have a Veganuary question, slide into our DMs, send us a message, and we will we'll answer it tomorrow.
Plant-based Morning Show on Instagram. Go to that and then DM us, and we'll. Guaranteed it will be in the show if it is just a normal question and not something weird. I mean, barring some sort of oversight or something, but we won't intentionally leave it out.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for showing up, and we will talk to you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern.